Michigan, but before that, Korea.
Immigrants built this country. Never forget that.
So let's get into The Walking Dead. How is this movie spiritual? How is it physical? Well, let's do a deep dive and let's get into this. This is The Walking Dead with Jeremiah Dixon. Let's go. There's a rumor that there's a person who sacrificed another student. Really? Who? Who took them out? Honestly, I don't know, but I think they're still alive. Really? And so The Walking Dead is basically a post-apocalyptic world. Just to give you a quick summary and synopsis of the entire show. Rick Grimes, I almost say Rick Owens. Rick Grimes wakes up in a hospital. He wakes from being in a coma to the world being in a post-apocalyptic way. A zombie outbreak happens. Me personally, kind of question how did this virus been taking over the world because the zombies are so slow. But more or less, it happened. They took over the world, and chaos forever reigns upon them.
We're at TV Line's Comic Con studio presented by ZTE with the cast of Walking Dead. Who's here just for show?
I'm not in the cast.
For the show, of course. Who's here just for show? Okay, we got a couple back there. Andrew, how much therapy am I going to need after watching this premiere?
We're going to all come around your house.
Well, how much therapy were you in before?
2 hours a week.
Okay. 2 hours a week.
As well, because most people see The Walking Dead as a show about guts, galore, and inevitable collapse of society. It's an ultimate survival of the fittest simulator. But if you look past the rotting flesh, you find that the show isn't actually about the dead. It's deep, often brutal, and more exploration of a human soul. It's a show that mostly asks the oldest spiritual questions in the book. Who are we? Where the lights when the lights go out? Is there a God in the wreckage? You see. And therefore, what is the difference between surviving and actually being alive? Because, like, today, we are going to be breaking down The Walking Dead. It's actually one of the most spiritual shows ever made, in my authentic opinion. And how, let's just start with the characters. It's no coincidence that the leader of our brand of survivors is a lawman named Rick, in so many ways. And so Rick's journey mirrors the story of Moses in a way. He leads a group of people, through a literal wilderness searching for the promised land, whether that's Alexandria, Hilltop, or just a place where they don't have to sleep, or with one eye open at least. And like, there's also a Hershel. He is a moral compass the moral compass of the job in the apocalypse. And yet he loses his farm, his family, and even his leg, and yet clings to the idea that nature is correcting itself, and he represents the struggle to find like a divine order in a world that feels chaotic, and as chaos grows in such a world that you can't even fathom. Because there's so much chaos, you can't even talk about the spirituality without Father Gabriel, his arc, and his all ultimate or unitement of a story of redemption. He starts out as a coward mostly, and locks his doors to his own congregation, and ends as a warrior at the end. But mostly like a warrior priest who understands that faith that works is dead, or most like in this case, faith for a machete is dead. Because listen, you got to defend yourself somehow. Plus, the most profound spiritual theme in the entire show as a whole is the distinction between the Walking Dead, meaning the monsters, and the Walking Dead, meaning the humans. And the narration between Rick famously says, are the Walking Dead. He meant as a warning that they had become cold and hardened. And by the show argues that you become dead the moment you stop caring about others. The moment you take a life, whether it's a human life or a walker, it's almost like Vampire Diaries, where you're losing your humanity after you turn off your emotions. And when you look at the characters like Morgan and Tyrese, they struggle with morality. That's the majority of killing because they believe that if they lost their mercy, they lost their souls, perhaps. This is a classic spiritual dilemma, dementia, I guess you could say. I'm going to say dementia. To save your life, because you might have to lose the very things that will make it life worth living. Because when you constantly watch the show, you do see them start to lose who they are. They lose themselves. They reconstruct themselves into a vessel that has a soul, but it's a lost soul. So they're just aimlessly walking around, hoping for freedom, hoping to find that strength that they once had in the life that they had before the world collapsed, before they lost the type of jobs that they had, before they lost their wives, their husbands, their girlfriends, and so on. And so spirituality is often defined by sacrifice. In The Walking Dead, the most spiritual moments happen when a character gives their life so that the idea of humanity can actually be saved. And therefore, when Carl, which is Rick's son in the show, had died, it wasn't just like a plot point. It was a sacrifice of a new world. And he died to show that Rick, that there has been something after. This is the concept of resurrection, and not of the body like the walkers, but of a society. So it's hope that from the series to Old World, plus a moral heavenly community that can be built within the TWD universe. Plus, so the show doesn't always provide easy answers to, often depicts God widowed the world, as in a way where when the characters pray, they aren't always answered with miracles. They're often answers with silence. Plus, in the silence spiritually becomes a internal choice, especially in season 2 of their addiction. And I only discuss that the idea of a useless God, but yet he is one of those who goes into like a literal pilgrimages to find Sophia, and he finds his faith, and not in a deity but in his own devotion to the people that he loves. And alongside that, just basically on the conclusion to everything I just said, ultimately The Walking Dead teaches us that spirituality isn't about the abundance or absence of darkness. It's about how you carry your life through the darkness, and it's about the unseen things of love and mercy and a hope that are more internal, and then seeing things like walls and weapons. And so the next time like you watch a walker get its brain smashed in, just remember that the real story is the pulse of the people doing the smashing, because as long as there is a why to live for, the soul remains perfectly intact. And so, my angels, here we reached the end of the video, and I just want to ask this one simple question: is what do you think it is? Is The Walking Dead a spiritual journey or just a survival horror? Like, let me know in the comments below. And please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more deep dives like this. I love all you guys, and stay warm, praise Yahuwah, and be safe out there.